Good morning guys, it is another week. I am starting a new DIY for this month's collection and I'm really excited. So I've actually done the front pattern. What I'm gonna be doing today is the back and hopefully cut out the muslin so that I can do a test fit. Yeah, I feel like I tend to get a bit nervous whenever I start something that I'm unfamiliar with. So I really hope that all of this goes well. And yeah, I'm excited that I can finally do patterns because I've done the hard work of creating the blocks. So I'm really excited and I really hope that this turns out well. So let's just jump straight into this week's DIY. So before we go any further, I thought I'd show you guys what I've been working on, just like from a closer up view. So we are referencing my pattern making book. So this is what I'm working on, the off-shoulder designs, and I'm creating this gathered top. Yeah, but it's not gonna be a dress, it's gonna be an actual top. And so I've done this pattern already. This is what it looks like. So I'm really hoping that this turns out well. So right now I'm gonna be working on the back, which shouldn't take too long, and then I'm gonna cut out the muslin for a test fit. Guys, I am so freaking excited for this. So this is the toile. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, so whenever we do like drafts or like prototypes on muslin fabric, we call it a toile. And honestly, I think it looks so great. The fit feels amazing, and because I am using very stiff muslin fabric, I can imagine with like a cotton spandex, which is something that I have and I'll be using, it's gonna fall and drape really beautifully. I really love the gathers and I can only imagine that it's gonna look even more beautiful on drapier fabric. And I've pinned the sides just so I can get an idea of what this will look like. I've also clipped the armhole because it was a bit tight using this very stiff fabric. But overall, I think it looks great and I really love this. It really has this sort of like toga vibes, Greek princess. And I can only imagine that in a white fabric it's gonna look like so royal and cool. I can imagine having like a bow kind of, I don't know, something a bit more extravagant as a design that I can do down the road. I'm really excited for this DIY, it's turning out great. So we're gonna move on to cutting the actual fabric and I can't wait to show you guys how this is going to look. Hey guys, I am back from Chinatown. So I managed to get some fabric for this top and I really hope it is gonna work out. So I've shared my frustrations with fabric shopping in Singapore. I honestly feel that the fabric selection in Singapore is very limited, especially for buying it at a retail level. And because of that, the minute that we're able to travel without having to do quarantine upon like arrival back to Singapore, I really want to be exploring Bangkok because I think it'll be a good place to source for fabrics. And the great thing about Bangkok is it's really cheap and it's quite near to Singapore, so I hope to do like a major fabric haul when I do go there, because honestly my frustrations with finding fabric in Singapore is beginning to test me. So yeah, I really cannot wait and really look forward to that. But for the time being, I really have to just make the most with what I have. So today in Chinatown, I managed to find this sateen fabric, which looks really nice. So apparently it's a silk blend, but I'm pretty sure it's like more polyester and I highly doubt that there's silk in it. But it looks pretty nice. I think the drape will go quite well. And it's also a kind of like off-white color, which will be cool. So this is kind of like what it might look like. So I'm really hoping that this turns out well. I'm also going to be lining it with my cotton fabric. I don't really know if that combination is going to work, but that's what I have at the moment. Yes, I also struggle with finding lining fabric in Singapore, especially lining that is non-polyester. So I really hope that this goes well. Otherwise, I'll just take it as a trial run. I think more importantly, I'm really happy with the pattern and what it potentially can seem like. So I'm just hoping that this fabric will be like the cherry on top, you know? I also found this really gorgeous fabric. And sadly, it was like the last 1 yard of the roll and they weren't gonna restock, which is a shame. So it's this like really beautiful olive kind of satin fabric with texture. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit more on like the coarse kind of side. Looks a little bit like suede, but in a shiny satin form. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really pretty. I'm not gonna use this fabric for this design, but my sister is gonna be having her wedding next year and she wanted the bridesmaid's dress to be this color. I managed to find another swatch as well, which is a little bit lighter, more of like a sage color. So this is what I currently have, and this is the sage. So I'm gonna let her see both colors, but sadly they've run out of this. I mean, I bought the last 1 yard, so I might be able to make a dress out of this. I'll keep you guys posted, but for now I'm just trying to think of how to best use this fabric because 1 yard isn't a lot. I was thinking of making like a cowl neck, like spaghetti strap, and like kind of like fitted body. I think it'll be really pretty. That will be maybe in the later part of this year that I'll be making the dress, because I do want to make that pattern first and do it on a test fabric, so something of a similar like satin look and feel, and get a gauge of how much fabric I actually need before I cut this, because this color is so precious. I don't want to ruin it. So I am super excited. I'm actually happier that I bought this fabric than this. Yeah, because like I was in the same store in Chinatown, and this store sells pretty much like satins and satines, and this was like hidden and tucked away like at the corner of the store near the cash register, and I saw the color and immediately I was like, I have to buy that fabric. So this was actually $15 a yard. It's the same as this. This was a $15 a yard. It's so pretty. So like sort of imagine a cowl neck kind of looks like this, but obviously it's not as full. It's gonna be so pretty. I'm so excited. So yeah, I love fabric. I love imagining the possibilities, and I really look forward to this DIY. But let's not get distracted by this beauty. We are gonna jump straight into cutting this fabric and sewing it up, and hopefully be able to shoot a lookbook tomorrow. So this is really exciting. This is what it can potentially look like in terms of drape. So yeah, and then this is gonna be where the darts are. But right now it looks very poofy because obviously I haven't stitched it up and pressed it, but potentially it'll be looking like this. And over here is just the swatches of fabric that I wanted to use for my sister's bridesmaid dress. So this was the fabric that I actually got, and this was the other alternative which had more yardage available. Hey guys, so I have a bit of an update, and it's a bit of a sad update, but it's a very crucial update. So this is how it's currently looking, but what I discovered is my side seam length or side length on the block is severely wrong. So initially we measured it out to be 6.5 inches, but when I measured it again, I feel like it's meant to be 10 inches. So I think that somehow when we're measuring, we're measuring it like much lower. So it's actually meant to be like higher. So I've lost out in 3.5 inches, which is about 9 to 10 centimeters, which is a lot. And so proportionately, when I made this up, I was wondering, why is it that the dart is sitting so high up, right? I think it just doesn't look as nice. So I started thinking about it, and then when I turn to the back, you'll see that the fabric's also shifting. So it's like pulling, and I still feel that my armhole is a bit high. I feel that it's because of the side seam length, and so when you're actually constructing the bodice, I'll show you. Can you see this? So yeah, this length is meant to be longer, and it will affect everything else, I feel. So that means that I have to redo my block. Thankfully, it's only like the top, so I have to redo the front and back bodice as well as the torso, front and back. The bottoms isn't affected by this side waist length, so that's fine. And I feel apart from that, everything else seems like okay. It's just that proportionately, this is meant to be like lowered so it doesn't look so high. As well as like, I feel like I will eliminate the back issue and the tightness. Not really tightness, but like the armhole is kind of like really pushed up. So yes, this DIY is going to be pushed back for another week, and I guess I'm going to split it into 2 parts. But overall, I think that after I settle this issue, hopefully there'll be no more hiccups, and yeah, it'll be a good change and update. But I'm glad that I learned how to measure properly. Yeah, I found that I was like digging through the book, and then I realized that I have to measure it this way. Oops. This is how I'm supposed to measure the side length. I meant to like put my arm here and then have a finger spacing down and then measure, but I think we were just winging it and like measuring it from here or something. I don't know. Yeah, so it's okay. I have to do this, and we just have a little hiccups along the way, but all will be ironed out soon.